Hey guys, it's about 100 degrees out here, but me and Henry and Shelby are moving kRusty into the shop. What would be nice is if this was like level ground, but it's not. The good news is it's got no headers, heads, or stuff on it, so it's a little lighter than normal. Bad news is spool, not a lot of fun to push and turn. Makes it better in the grass though. So we're gonna push it right up into you guys, and then we're gonna push it back up in here. And by the time that's over with, I'm probably gonna be ready for a Gatorade or water. Son of a gun. And we got stuff to do tonight so far, so we'll see. But anyway, just thought I'd show you guys that I'm working. So let's time lapse it so you can see the struggle. Well, there we go. We got it inside. I'm going to take the, already took the headers and exhaust off, but I wanted to have it inside so I can work on it in here. If it's raining, I can, I still got a bunch of stuff I want to do on the front of the car, as far as cutting the aprons and stuff like that. Still got some stuff to cut inside the car on our lightweight stuff. I can work on the wiring if I want to. This is, if it's raining, I can do all these things. Plus we got the engine covered, but that's not as good as having it in the building. So we got at least one in here. At some point we'll run Pro Stock back out to the facility, but I foresee myself racing it some here in the future, hopefully. So I don't want to take it right now, but it's what makes, if ECD's open, because the facility is kind of on the way to me going to the track. Atmore's the opposite direction, so it's actually a lot farther if I have to go. It adds, like 30 miles or so to the trip both ways, but it's 30 miles. So anyway, but we got it in here, so we got more stuff we'll be doing on it, and it is what it is. We'll have them back out. This is one of the cars that is, while it's not I'd say a priority to have it running tomorrow or anything like that, it is, it is a car that we're going to get, we're going to have running back here. It depends on David. I'm not trying to rush him or anything like that, because I got to pay for the machine shop stuff, and but by the first of next year, I'd like to have it running again. I know it sounds like a long time, but time travels quick, especially when you're old like me. Anyway, I guess we'll see you guys in the next clip, and we'll have a grinder in our hand, I'm sure. What a bummer, standing in front of the Trojan horse. This video might be a mashup. I've got a few clips from something else, and maybe I'll just mush a bunch of stuff together and see what's what. There was something I wanted to show you guys real quick that we're looking at, and we'll see how it works out, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about real quick. Problem solving. Okay, we have got a set of SN headers on a Fox, and for the most part they fit pretty good. The problem is, though, is that on the driver's side, the collector comes out and literally is probably that much too high to where it'll hit the transmission crossmember mounting, where it mounts to the body of the car. So
I looked under there, and I guess it's like anything else. I could probably make something, or, you know, get a collector and then kind of just beat the pipe down and kind of like make it fit or whatever. But the other thing we could do is to put drop motor mounts on here. Now, I happen to have a set. I said that we might have a subscriber that might be coming through for us, and that'll be great. At the end of the day, we have a set of drop motor mounts already on kRusty that were that I bought for some reason or another. But I could put those on here, which would drop it down. I've already looked at the steering. I think I'll be fine on the steering. It's not hooked up right this second, but I just kind of eyeballed it. I think I'll be fine on the steering. And that would, anything that we can gain on getting the exhaust down is better. It'll give us the opportunity to get a header, or get a muffler mounted on there. So, and we're just going to do the bullets like off the header kind of a thing. That's what we do on everything basically. I'm not going to, I don't want to say I don't like the sound. I mean, I'm not like 100% in love with them. They don't sound great just driving around, but I like the way it sounds when you start getting into it. So anyway, but yeah, that's what I was kind of eyeballing. And the motor mounts that we may or may not receive are, I don't know if they're drops. They look like drops. And if they are, that's great. If not, like I say, I've got a set, but I need another set of solid motor mounts to put on kRusty. So anyway, trying to kind of figure out what I want to do, because I was looking at working on the Love Boat, and I don't know, I got plenty of stuff to do. I just got to figure out what to do. So, all right. The problems of owning a fleet. Well, here you go, guys. This is a little bit of our smorgasbord of garbage, and this is what thousands of hours and thousands of dollars looks like. A bunch of little white time slips. I'm old school, like David and Kevin. They've got theirs in Excel spreadsheets and stuff. Mine's all paper. Most of them are cover sheeted. And that's roughly about 2,200 slips of paper right there. Because Kevin had asked, what was your first pass and what did you run on your first pass? And the oldest time slip I could find was an Atmore one, old school Atmore one. And it was a 1040 at like 69 miles an hour. It was an 84 GT. It was Robitussin, the car that would become Robitussin. And I don't know, I made 10 or 11 passes. And that was June of 92. So that was the first pass I made down the track. Or that's the first recorded one. Now I've literally saved every time slip that I've ever had. So I feel like my 2,187 pass count is pretty accurate. The only time slips that I don't have, that I know that I made that I don't have, are the 2 times that I went to Fun Ford Weekend True Street events and made some quarter-mile passes. I don't know what happened to those time slips. They were not great experiences for me. Some frustrations were involved. But, I know that I made those passes, and so I count them in my overall total. But anyway, like I say, most of these are Emerald Coast and Atmore. There's some Mobile and some Panama City ones thrown in there too. But anyway, that is what that's what all this frustration will get you. These pieces of paper to look back on. All right, guys, let's just keep this mysterious tour going. I don't know what this is. It is from Nick. I got an idea of what it is, but I didn't know I was getting this, or I didn't know this was coming. So, but I have an idea of what it might be. And he didn't tell me he was sending this technically either. The box is kind of cool, triangle box. Yes, it's what I suspected it might have been. It is, it is a reground camshaft. It's a single pattern, 234, 234. Woo-hoo. That's, 234, 234, 510, 510 on a 114. Man, that's technically doesn't have a cam card per se. Nick sent me a little message. Enjoy this cam, be perfect for Love Boat or Trojan. Real Ford core. You know, this might be a this man. 1.7s is probably not going to fit with the HO firing order. I want an idle video. Huh. That's pretty cool. I've never ran like a reground, or at least not that I know of. That's pretty cool. I mean, we should put it in something. I mean, I'm just thinking in my head of moving stuff around where it would fit. I know another good, well, I don't know, that might be a good spot for it too. I don't know, I have to think about it. This is cool. I'm going to use this cam. This is pretty much in our wheelhouse of size-wise, and especially with some like kind of some of the GT40 style head stuff that we run. And this is all predicated on not fly cutting pistons. You can fly cut pistons and make anything fit, basically. But I'm always in my head that the stock short block thing. But Nick, I appreciate that. That's cool. I mean, we'll find something to put that in. And we've got a few cams on the shelf, but I always kind of, I don't want to say always, but I do like running kind of stuff that, you know, stuff like this that we could use. We've ran, you know, X and B and stuff. We've got an F cam and the silver card. And we don't know what the cam is in Trojan. But that'd be interesting. Could maybe put it in the brain too. Reported GT40s. It's got 1.6 rollers on it now. Huh. We'll see. But Nick, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I like this box. See, this is pretty cool. I mean, that's really, I know you guys, I don't know everybody's situation, you know, financially or stuff like that, but I know that it costs money to send things and to buy things to send. So I certainly appreciate it, and I will do my best to get this plugged into something. For one thing, just because it's cool, and you know, I try. You know, what happened is I had to buy another car or something. Teresa had a stroke, but yeah. But this, like I say, we'll find something to put this in. I've got a few ideas already floating around. I don't want to think too much. I get on camera and I start automatically thinking about what I'm going to do with this, that, and the other. So, Nick, thank you very much. And as far as you guys, let's move into the next clip. Woo-hoo, look at that fine piece of machinery. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay. That's maybe it's not so fine after all. Whoopsie. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the next clip. This is a tragic tale of a T-5 Z-Spec, allegedly a woman, and a boyfriend or a husband, I don't know. Pirate gave me a call and said, hey, I'm looking at this T-5 and it's pretty cheap, but the bearing retainer, the snout on the bearing retainer was broken. I was like, oh, you know. So he said the guy was teaching his wife or girlfriend or whatever she was how to drive, and something started making some noise. So he stopped and got it out. You know, he took it out of the car. Now he just wants to get rid of it. Paid a bunch of money to get it rebuilt and all this other rigmarole. So he was going to meet up with the guy. This wasn't local. This was, hell, he was down in, hell, he was 2 states out.
So if his parole officer sees this, I apologize to him and Pirate. So the ankle bracelets, they are not 100% effective, just saying. So Pirate calls me up when this cat shows up. First off, he was telling me the story of what happened. Text, and I said, this guy's gonna pull up in a 96 Dakota. No offense to anybody in 96 Dakota, but Michael was like, this guy, he sounds like he's on the up and up, blah, blah, blah. I said, he's gonna show up in a 96 Dakota with not a straight body panel on it, primer black. He's gonna have some T-5 that looks like it literally fell out of a demolition derby car in the back of it, and he's gonna convince you to buy it. That's literally the gist of what I said. This guy pulls up in like a flat black 95 or something Ford truck with a T-5 that looked like it had survived the Normandy invasion. I mean, and I wouldn't say survived because it didn't. It was casualty. So, so Pirate Face calls me, or whatever you call it. I've only literally did that once or twice, and so he's moving the camera around. It's like the guy doing the shell game. I'm trying to just look, and he's, what about this? And I'm like, dude, you need to stop having a seizure, okay? So he shows me the bearing retainer, and I thought, which I had broken the factory bearing retainers on these T5s are aluminum snout. They're aluminum, a retainer, race holder, and the snout's aluminum. They gall up and they break over time. That's a pretty common deal. This one, I don't have it, but this one was not broken on the snout where I have seen that happen. It was broken all the way around, and the whole snout and the face of it had come off. The race and everything was beat to death. The input looked like trash. It was beat to death, which means the cluster's beat to death. Also, right here, this is a whole freaking mess. And the bearing was smoked on the retainer, on the input bearing was smoked, and everything else. And that's not the worst part of this situation, though. That's not the worst part. I'm gonna take you off the camera, off the stand, or off your body. I'm gonna remove your head, and I'm gonna bring you over here and I'm gonna show you what we're talking about. First off, you may be wondering about this bearing. This is what is known as a Cobra pocket bearing, or if you look at the tag, which I had Michael look at the tag. As soon as I saw that, I was like, does it have a tag on it? That's right. Sorry. M7003-Z. That's right, kids. Allegedly, this is a Z-Spec, one of motorsport's finest transmissions, and it has been turned into a piece of garbage. Not 100%. That's what we're going to find out, how garbagey it is. Gosh dang, sorry about that. But yeah, this bearing is smoked. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of driver his girlfriend is, but man, she's hell on a manual. I can tell you that much. I was going to pull, he said it's full of fluid. It's not really full of fluid. It is full of metal, though. I mean, look at that. I've never in my life seen that much of anything in a T5. Of course, I haven't seen a ton. I've seen a few, maybe as many as the average 5-liter guy. But it also has this and this, which are a little odd as far as the bolts. So our mission today was to drain the fluid, but that looks like it's already been done for us. And look at that right there. And we're going to knock the tail shaft, the top cover off, and we're going to see exactly what's going on inside this, because realistically, he can probably fix this transmission. I want to say, I mean, we can fix it no matter what. I've got another case. That's not a big deal. There's nothing special about those cases. But we're going to see what we need for parts. If the main shaft is good, the gears on the main shaft are good, and everything else, all that's good, then we'll need a cluster and whatever else we'll need as far as bearings and stuff. So he only paid the guy, I think he gave the guy 100, 150 or something. Oh, and he got that right there. Speaking about these for a minute, I am not a huge fan of the Hurst. I don't really like the finger indentions. It's just that's a personal preference. So when people talk about, when you talk about driving and stuff like that, hey, I'm drive and race and power shift and all this kind of stuff. This is one of the things. And one day, I know I keep saying it, I'm gonna do a power shifting video, just my version of it. There's plenty of
videos out there on power shifting and how to drive a manual and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, some of them are pretty good. I mean, 1 or 2 of them that I've seen are pretty decent. It would just be my personal preference, what works for me. And I'm going to show you right now, real quick, one of the things that does work for me. This is one of the things that works or doesn't work for me. You can see the thickness is about the same. The top part, as far as this indentation, is about the same. The main difference comes in on the grip. I do not like the finger slots. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer the flat spaced and just have it where it's ridged in right here and ridged in at the bottom. Because to me, I don't want to have to put my fingers in a certain position. I want to have them wherever I need them to move my hand. I can almost move my hand. I don't need the hand grip. It feels weird to me. I like it like this. Or a lot of times I'll have my hand almost like this. It just depends. That's why I'm a huge fan of these particular shift handles, which you can, and they have the button built in. You can get it without the button. You can get these at Hanlon Motorsports, has them. You can get them. That is honestly one of the easiest places to order them from. You can get them from Summit, but a lot of times they have them back ordered for whatever reason, and they'll just drop ship them, and they're basically the same price at Hanlon. I mean, of course, the shipping, but still, you're helping out a small business, and you're also helping out an OG Mustang guy. You know, Bob was around for a long time. And so if you're going to buy one, hey, buy one from Hanlon. Throw him a little business. And this is literally my favorite. This is my favorite handle right here, my favorite knob. So, but I just wanted to show one of the reasons why. And these work. I mean, if it works for you, that's all that matters. I'm just telling you why it doesn't work for me. Just not, you know. I don't like that. This is the only way I can put my hand, kind of a thing. I like it. Just feels weird to me. But anyway, there we go on that little tuss and tip. You know who's in there, right? As a matter of fact, look, is that him? Uh-oh, that's him. Well, don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. Pirate also received this semi-awesome collection of bolts. We've got some flywheel bolts. He did get a clutch in the deal that was supposed to be pretty new, but smelled like 3-day-old fish. We've got some bearing retainer bolts, and we've got looks like 1 or 2. Got some I don't know what this. I guess maybe they were using these as pressure plate bolts. I don't know what that. Oh, that's for the speedometer. So we got, I don't know. Look at these bolts we got. Look at that. Look at this. Don't act like this wasn't a good deal. It was a great deal. So I'm gonna see if there's any fluid in it, and then we're gonna take the shifter, put it neutral, and then we'll start taking it apart. We've been through this 1,000 times, but we want to make sure. Let's put it in neutral, and we're gonna take the shifter loose, and then we'll get the shifter out, and then we'll walk through real quick what we're going to do as far as breaking this thing down, and then we'll start breaking it down. This thing sits cattywampus as hell too. That is not, Jesus Christ, man. The fluid that came out of this thing looked really bad. That right there, man, I don't know what that is. I can tell you it's not peach cobbler, bro. That's a fact. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I know what it looks like. What? Oh my gosh. What the hell? Oh, it's some kind of like paste. Now the guy told Pirate, he said, look here, man. I spent like $1,700 rebuilding this thing, getting it rebuilt. So, I'm not sure what that means. It does. I don't know if he bought. I don't know. It's funny when people tell stories, because check this out. We got this blue paint mark right here. We got a blue one on the bolt. We got a blue one on the tab. We got a blue one right here. There's a lot of blue been going on this thing. We got blue on the top here. I mean, this thing is factory certified. I mean, I don't know if they had the pin all the way in on this one. You know what I mean? We might have had a little bit of an early detonation. I don't know. And hey, tuss and tip, hey hand puppet, check it. Hey. You get a T-5, make sure the pin is all the way in. You don't want to have one of these grenade early. It's dangerous, especially if you're like sticking it in, it goes off, it hurts you badly. So, I mean, if you got safety glasses on, you should be good, but just keeping it real. All right, let's get that out. Now what we're gonna do here is you make sure it's in neutral. This dowel, you knock it all the way through. It comes all the way out the bottom. You can't get it out, just like, well, maybe you can, but I never do. You can't get it out all the way out. You just knock it all the way through, and then you'll take these bolts off, and this whole piece slides out. In this, the block, there's a spring inside and a check ball that all comes out, and then the dowel will be laying in here. So look at that. Watch how easy it's gonna be. We're gonna put it on time lapse. It's gonna look super simple. Y'all don't tell me this RTV don't hold now. Y'all be yelling about the ouch. The RTV on the carburetor gasket. Man, y'all better watch out. You see how much I had to beat on that? Okay. Now there's always going to be a little mess. Get it to slide off the shaft, especially if it's been rawhided up like this one has. There we go. Here's our shifting block. There's our spring. Don't want to lose these. There's our ball. And here, as I promised, is our dowel. So, good. Goodness gracious, man. What in the hell were you doing on this transmission, bro? This is crazy. Well, look, I don't know if he wants, because what have I said before? This is the rubber plug that they put in, and when they put the tail shaft in, or put the drive shaft in, it just pushes this plug into here. It'll be, I don't know why anyone would ever put this back on, because it's just, that's the only thing it's there for. Yeah, this all looks, this is a shame. I mean, this is a low down dirty shame. Look at all that material in there. Jesus Christ. That this transmission has been subjected to what it's been subjected to. Because these transmissions, don't get me wrong, if you bought a Z-Spec brand new, bless your heart. But these transmissions, in my opinion, are very overpriced for what they cost nowadays. They used to be I wouldn't say they were a great deal, but they were reasonable. Back when they were, like $1,000 and stuff. Now these things are crazy priced. Anyway, so, I would also like to point out that Pirate, hold on, I'm gonna move you guys back for a second. I would also like to point out that in the deal, Pirate got this kick-ass factory shift boot, and hey, don't get it twisted, man. If you're in the big city, this is also a going out accessory. I mean, how sophisticated do I look? Have I got it right here? Look at that. I got my leather hat on. All it really needs is a string or a piece of leather to tie. I could be at the art gallery or at one of these wine and cheese places or one of them fondue things where they put the cheese in the pot, you dip meat and other shit in it. Come on, bro. How rad would that be? Start a new trend. Like my dad used to say, don't follow trends, start your own. Not good advice. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the top cover off and then see what's going on inside. I will time lapse you guys. Got it broke loose. You pick it up a little bit. What son of a Look at that. Why didn't you guys tell me I left a bolt in it? Man, this is why I don't like working with you sometimes. You let me do stupid stuff on camera. Okay, now you pick it up and you slide it outward. Holy hell. Oh my God. Don't worry, Daddy. I can shift it. I'll get us home. Oh my God, it's the metal in this thing. Here's another thing too, when people talk about shift forks, I want you to look at how much of a face the 1.2 has, and then compare that with the 3.4. I have never broken one of these. I'm not saying they can't be broken. I'm not saying no one's ever broken them. I can say I've never broken one, and I've never personally seen one broken. So, but these all day, every day. But also another thing, when we talk about doing the shift keys in it, the 3.4 uses a very short key. You've seen them if you've watched my other videos or seen other videos. I've got them, should have some. This is a 3.4 key. See, the factory stuff's just stamped. This is a 1.2 key. These, I've never seen one of these damaged. These right here, when you start missing gears, it'll start flattening out the ends. You can see, you'll probably not, but it's just folded over. These will start pulling out and it'll start folding in, and then it flattens it out, and then it's just garbage. So we put the billet ones in that are solid, eliminates that problem. I've never seen one of these damaged. So food for thought. Let me show you what's inside in here. This, man. Look at that, there's a 3.4 key hanging out. Oh. The good news is that the man, it is a shame what happened to this transmission, because this was actually a nice transmission. This is the part that I don't say I'm worried about, but we're going to have to press this off, this bearing off, and that's what I was going to show you what it's supposed to look like. There's and this is not something technically that you can retrofit onto an older T5. The shaft, the snout of the shaft is actually turned down, and the input is made to take the race for this bearing. So, and honestly, I've talked to some different people about, is this an advantage? And some people agree and some people disagree. So just because you've got, this is a natural bridge in the T5 where this input and this main shaft come together. That's a natural joint. And people I've talked to, there's a couple that I kind of trust their knowledge a little bit, they say that this takes away almost surface area, that the roller bearings are just flat, because this is a cone, and a cone is not as good as just two flat pieces put together. That's the theory. So again, you know, seriously. Whew. But all the gears, initial thoughts are the gears look good, except for obviously that one's trash. That's a shame, because this is a nice transmission. I think Pirate, once I get it more pulled apart and look at some of the bearings, we're just going to make up a parts list and see what we're going to do. There you go. Man. Honestly, this situation is probably about the best that I could hope for. I still want to get the main shaft out. I've got to take the fifth shift fork off. and we'll take this whole assembly off, and then we can pull the main shaft out, and then really get this bearing off the front and see what we got. I think it's okay, and then we'll look at some other stuff. I mean, it's going to need a cluster. It realistically needs another case because it ate the case up to where the retainer band, but that's not a huge deal because cases, there's nothing special about the cases. So the shift forks look pretty good. So that's, you know, shift fork pads, some bearings, a cluster, an input, and I think we'll be back in business. This realistically, in a case, but I've got one. Realistically, you might be into this for, let's say you paid $150 for it, and because I think there was a couple. He was negotiating with the guy while we were on the phone, and I think he told me he paid $150. He could maybe, I heard 100, I heard 125, then he was talking 150. The guy wanted 200. I know he didn't pay that because he said I'm not paying 200 no matter what. So anyway, but he will be into this transmission potentially for, you know, we'll take it apart, clean everything up good, see what we got. But I think $500 maybe, right in that area. He's going to buy a steel bearing retainer. And he's going to do some upgrades. We're going to put the cluster support on it, and we're going to put. He's going to put brass shift pads in it, or bronze, whatever you want to call them. But maybe once all said and done, maybe $500 or $600 he'll be into this. So all the gears on the shaft look good. The shaft will turn out good. That's half the battle right there. The rest of just the cluster is going to be the expensive part. And it's not going to be super expensive. And the input. Last time I checked on the input for one of these was $125. So, and then the cluster, I'm not sure. I looked up a few prices the other day when we were on the phone, and you know, a couple $100 maybe. So, yeah, $500-600 plus some bearings. I think we might be able to get away buying individual bearings or reusing some bearings out of the other case. I don't know. There's no need to get crazy. You know, this is just a transmission to go racing in, you know, the cars that we normally go racing in, you know, low 7-second, 8th mile cars. I don't think, you know, you don't need no killer trans in it. So, yeah, but it's pretty good news. As good as it could be. So, anyway, thanks Nick. Thanks again, Nick. That cam, that's, you know, from the heart. I mean, I appreciate that, man. That's cool. You guys are way too good to us, honestly. And but we're going to find a use for that. I actually really like that camshaft. Low lift, high duration, small valve head. That's like my jam. That's what I kind of love. So it should be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. I just got to figure out where to put it in and get my mind working. So thanks, Nick, for that. I really appreciate it. And to all you guys out there, thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the ways you support the channel. I really appreciate it. And especially, these are new glasses. I just buy the like $10 reader glasses, but I broke my other set. So these are new ones. They're like blue light reader safe. So thanks for watching. See you guys. And until next time on the Substandard Leader, Fox Body, we're going out tonight, baby. Fox Body Videos, Substandard. On this man's YouTube, 1 year only Lincolns. You guys know about that. May have a TNT day coming up in a couple days here. Hopefully we're going to reject the car. We'll maybe have a video on that. Then hey, we'll go out and kick a little butt with it, or have some fun with it. And we got that coming up. So yeah, Substandard Leader on Fox Body Videos on this YouTube. 1 year only Lincolns, 1990. That's the year you want. And Ford drag vans. Promise one day to be back on the channel. Until next time. See you guys later.